Yeah, so extension also very you can say extension also very good keyword to do some of the appending of the values in a list. It is also very helpful whenever you want to append some of the values. It's also appended at the end, obviously. You can see here the major difference is it just extends some of the list. It may not be appended. It will be only used for the global variables. Yeah, so search is also same. Find, you can also type, and also the index. By using the index, you can also search by whatever the values you need. You can also specify nested objects. That means whatever the nested classes values are, whatever the nested values we have, corresponding that is going to be search with respect to that. And the insert also we seen, right, with respect to the tuples. So it's just an operator whenever you need. Suppose you want to be inserted the first index. Okay, we want to be inserted the first index or second index. It's going to insert into this value, and whatever the value we had, it's going to be replaced on top of it. Yeah, yeah, so we are just inserting that value at first location. You can see here it will insert this value into the first location. Similarly, we are just inserting at the fourth index with corresponding the list what we had. This is a very you can say basic list we had, or the parent list. So if you want to check any kind of particular element, like whether that value is present or not, you can just use the in and in not. So this is very helpful operator. In is going to be help us whether the value is present inside the list or not. So I'm just checking the 90 value. It's not present, so that's why it's giving as a false result. If it is a present, it's going to be give as a true conditions. That's it. It's a Boolean return statement. We are going to be get by using the true and false conditions. Similarly, remove also, you can directly pass the remove. This is a predefined keyword in the list. Okay, so you can directly pass that whatever the value going to be specified with according to the index. Yeah, so nested list, we already discussed about the tuple, right? So we have a list in a list, and also the for loop in a for loop. We have if in the if loop. We can also write maybe the iterator operator with respect to the list. So for loop, this is going to be help us to iterate some of the list elements. These are some of the elements we had, so we just iterating according to that. So you can also pass the predefined method on the list. So I created some list here, some of the values contents, and this some of the values I need to iterate. So reverse of a string, you can also pass the reverse of a string by using the reverse keyword. This is very familiar with the NLP concepts. Whenever we learn some of the NLP related concepts, this will all will going to be help us. Okay, some of the keywords is always going to be help us in the NLP related concepts, whether you defining some of the list operators or string manipulation functions, and also some of the other data structures what we had. So this is very helpful functionalities. So you can also more focus on these whenever we do some of the NLP related documentations. So sorting of the list, if you want to sort according to the ascending order or descending order. Okay, so based on the corresponding values what we had. And another way of sorting also, we can define by using the sorting. You can also use the sorted. This is also very helpful. This is a predefined again. Yeah. So nested list, if you have a list within the list, so that's what I'm saying. If you take this maybe, yeah. So if you take this list, so we pass some variable here. This is the 0th index. This is the first index. This is the first index. This is second index. This is third index. This is fourth. This is fifth. So what will happen if you just encounter to write something called as list of 3? So it will give the value of A, B, C. Okay. So it will go and pass. It will go and check that whatever the index value we had. This is the total number of the value we had. So it will pass A, B, C. It won't pass only A, or it will only pass B, or only pass C. Inside this list, we have to analyze. This is the index 0. This is index 1, index 2. So if you want to know about the A value, you can write my list 3, and you can also pass the index value corresponding to that. If you want to know about the A value, you can pass like this. This is the best way to approach. Yeah, that's what we are doing here. So yeah, if you want to know about any kind of the list, okay, so like we are just passing as a one, so it will be as a 0 comma 1, right? Yeah, you can see this example maybe. Yeah, so we are passing as a second index the first element, second index, this is all total as the second index, and the zero index as a 1 and the first index as a 2. So particular to search, or you want to be print out some of the values. If suppose you have a you have a thousand sentences, okay, so you have a thousand sentences in a corpus. So how do you search? So how do you search with corresponding values, or what if you have a word embeddings with respect to the 10 million comma 1000 columns in your data set? How do you search? How do you search with respect to getting some of the nested lists what we had and corresponding to that word with regarding the NLP related concepts? This operator is going to be help us in that context. So if you converted the bag of words, if you converted the TF, IDF, or any other tokenization mechanisms, you applied at the end, you will encounter with 1,000+, okay, 1,000+ corpus values. So how do you search? By using these indexes only. That's the reason we are just focusing more on these Python related concepts.